Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Afnan's Turathi Blue versus Lattafa Pride's Qiam Silver. So let's jump into it. Alright, so today we are having a fragrance battle between Afnan's Turathi Blue and Lattafa Pride's Qiam Silver. Both allegedly clones of Bvlgari Tyger. I do not own that fragrance. I can't tell you which one of these is going to be closest to that fragrance. What I'm going to do for you guys today is give you a comparison between these two in terms of the scent profile, the performance, all that jazz. Give you a bit of a buyer's guide on which one might sound like the better option for you guys. I picked up both of these fragrances from Fragrance Buy. I'll have a link down in the description if you want to check any of these out. Also have a coupon code. Save yourself $5 at Fragrance Buy for your first purchase. If you decide you want to shop with them, this is going to be a hard video to do with both my hands occupied. I'm going to do my best here. Turathi Blue cost me $36 for a 90 ml and Lattafa Pride cost me $44 for 100 ml. So breaking this down to a kind of per milliliter cost, about 44 cents per milliliter versus 40 cents per milliliter. So relatively close when it comes to that. So this is a little bit more expensive, but by only a few dollars. But what really matters is what's on the inside. So what do these smell like? So when it comes to the note breakdown of these two fragrances, they are very similar, but there are some differences. In the Lattafa Pride, the top notes are grapefruit and ginger with a mid of sandalwood and ambroxan, and in the base you get some vetiver and some musk. With the Turathi Blue, you get bergamot, mandarin. You also get in the mid, you get some amber and woody notes, as well as some musk, patchouli, and fresh spicy listed in the base. This is all coming from the Afnan website. This is all coming from the Lattafa site in terms of the official note breakdown. I think there's a few missing from the Turathi, but what I get from this one, in the opening for the Lattafa, it's a lot brighter and a little bit sweeter. You definitely get that ginger that's coming through, making it a little bit stand out in terms of kind of an extra sparkle that's coming through, and it's kind of an extra fresher, brighter style of citrus opening. But the Turathi Blue still has a very bright citrus opening, but I do find the mandarin in this kind of calms things down in terms of that overly sharp, tangy, zesty style of citrus that the Lattafa Pride has. It's a different kind of citrus opening. Both are very bright openings, but I do find that ginger note that's in the Lattafa gives it that extra sparkle, that extra bit of pop and zing that goes into it. There's also a little bit more sweetness that comes through with the Lattafa Pride. It's more of an ambroxan style of sweetness, gives it a little bit of a push. So this has kind of like a Fresca can of Sprite style of like opening and sweetness to it, whereas the Turathi, this one has sweetness in it for sure, but it's a different kind of sweetness, more kind of a warm ambery sweetness that comes through. So the sweetness from the mandarin, the sweetness that comes through from this amber gives it a little bit more warmth. It's a little less fresh and a little less sweet, but it's still very citrus forward, it's still very bright, but just not as bright and as sparkling as the Lattafa Pride. Both of these fragrances do have wood accords that kind of work in towards the mid soon after that opening. With the Lattafa Pride, you get this nice kind of light, smooth style of sandalwood that works in there. Plays really nice with kind of that fresh aspect to it, kind of complements that sweet accord that works through it. Whereas the Afnan has more of a heavier style of wood that comes through. It's not like an overly woody style of fragrance. It is still sitting behind those citruses, that mandarin, kind of that amberiness that's there. But it does have a little bit, again, added warmth to it and a little bit kind of more of a kind of a dry sort of feel that kind of works its way in with that wood accord, a little bit heavier, a little less airy than this. So again, this kind of maintains that little bit of a fresher, sweeter sort of vibe going on to it compared to the Turathi. Those citruses are still very much there. This one a little bit more zip tangy to it. This one a little bit more kind of mandarin, but still has that kind of that tanginess to it, just not as strong and as prominent as the Lattafa Pride. And as you work your way to the dry down with both of these fragrances, they do start to kind of diverge a little bit in terms of scent profile, a little bit further. I do find the citruses in this one do maintain a lot better. They do stay kind of very forward and very strong. Whereas the Lattafa, I find this one kind of rounds out a little bit better. The citruses are definitely still there. The sweetness is definitely still there, but the woods kind of mix in. So it balances off with those woods really nice with those citruses and that sweetness. Whereas the Turathi, I find the citruses kind of push forward a little bit more. It also gets a little bit of earthiness coming through, a little touch of fresh spicy that kind of works in that base. So the dry downs are slightly different. Again, this is a little bit on the fresher side. This is a little bit kind of more the warm, citrusy, touch of sweetness style of fragrance. So in that base, that's pretty much what you're getting. They are fairly linear from the opening to the dry down, so you're not gonna notice a whole lot of evolution with this, but there are slight differences, slight nuances that they do kind of pull apart from each other as this begins to dry down. All in all, really, really nice scent profiles for both of these. They're just very nice, smooth, fresh, invigorating style of fragrances. They very nice like blend of all the scent accords that go into this, very well rounded, Great quality of fragrances overall. Bang for your buck, both of these are quite nice. So when it comes to the performance of Afnan's Turathi Blue versus Lattafa Pride's Qiam Silver, both of these are about 8-hour fragrances off my skin before it pretty much turns into a skin scent at that point, and projection for both of these is about 2 hours before it does settle back in. I will say that off my skin, the Turathi Blue does project a little bit better. It's a little bit stronger, the citrus is a little bit more pronounced, whereas the Lattafa Pride I find does kind of fade a little bit. It does project pretty good for that first 2 hours, but I just find the Turathi Blue kind of radiates a little bit more. It just kind of pushes. It could be the citruses that are coming through just are a little bit more pronounced because this is a little fresher. And the ambroxan in this, I might go a little anosmic to this, so this could be performing better than I think, but I think because of that ambroxan, I'm not smelling it as, you know, strong or as radiating as the Turathi Blue. So I would say in terms of projection, this one is a little bit stronger off my skin at least, but overall these are both great fragrances when it comes to performance. Longevity, excellent, and when it comes to projection, it does very, very well. So with the slight nuance of this being a little bit better in projection, I think these are both great performers. So my overall thoughts on Afnan's Turathi Blue versus Lattafa Pride's Qiam Silver. I think these are both excellent fragrances. I really enjoy the scent profile. They are very similar fragrances. There are those nuances that I've already discussed. So it really depends on what you're looking for in a fragrance. If you're looking for something that has a little bit more freshness, is a little bit sweeter, still has that kind of citrus forward vibe, but that added ginger note that gives it a little bit more sparkle, a little bit kind of a zing, a little bit of a tang accentuation from that grapefruit and that ginger playing off each other, I think you're really going to enjoy Lattafa Pride's Qiam Silver. If you're looking for something that has like a little less of that kind of zing, it's a little bit more tart, has a little bit more kind of warm sweetness coming through, but that sweetness is dialed down in comparison to the Lattafa Pride, I think the Afnan Turathi Blue is going to be a great pickup for you as well. The wood accords in these are both very nice. This one, again, like I said, a little bit lighter, has a bit of a smoothness to it. It's a little subtle in terms of how it comes forward. Whereas the Turathi Blue, the woods in this I find to be a little bit earthier, a little bit heavier, and a little bit kind of more dominant. It's not a woody style of fragrance by any means. Again, both are very citrus forward. I just find the woods kind of come through a little bit stronger in this one than they do with the Lattafa Pride. And like I said, overall performance on these are both fantastic. I do give the edge to Turathi Blue ever so slightly when it comes to projection, but longevity, it is pretty much a tie across the board on these. And for the price, I think these are both for $44, $36. You're definitely getting your money's worth. Beautiful, well-blended, well-rounded styles of scents on these ones. Great for, like I said, spring and summer. Very playful, very fun, but also has like a sophistication to it, a bit of an allure to it with that sweetness and that kind of fresh, bright citrus that goes into it. Excellent fragrances. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys which one sounds better to you, and comment down below which one of these do you think it sounds like it's more up your alley. Love hearing from you guys. I love getting to your different opinions. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys have a better idea of what Lattafa Pride Qiam Silver is all about and what Afnan Turathi Blue is all about. And that's all I gotta say about that. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.